Yeah.
so to speak.
Well, we'll call a meeting to order. What have we got for evidence that we have properly posted?
The County Board of Supervisors, January 20th meeting notice and agenda was posted in the Government Center building in 2 places and posted on the county website on Thursday, January 15th, 2026. In addition, on Thursday, January 15th, 2026 at 4:14 p.m., the Office of the County Clerk distributed copies of such notice to supervisors and media via email.
Counselor?
That constitutes proper notice.
Okay, roll call, please.
Brad Olson was maybe going to be on, but not sure. Okay. Doug Rowdy,
Here.
Steve Warndall,
Here.
Pam Garvey. Here. Tracy LeBlanc. Here. Dan Ruck.
Here.
Sharon Kelly.
Here.
Jeremy Hall.
Here.
Kim O'Connell.
Here.
Tony Johnson.
Here.
Jay Luke.
Here.
Grant Duncanson. Russ Arkand.
Here.
Keith Karpinski.
Here.
And John Bonaprise is on there.
Would you join me in pledge of allegiance, please? Pledge of allegiance to
the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Need a motion on the agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Motion made,
Second.
seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Approve, same sign. Matters, for the consent agenda.
Motion to approve the consent agenda as presented with just the minutes of the 16th county board.
I'll second it.
Motion made and seconded. Any consideration? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Same sign, public comment? Okay. We have a motion on the committee as a whole.
So move.
Made to warn the committee as a whole.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same signs. Okay. Discussion information regarding county email. Who's gonna handle that?
Don Wortham is gonna handle that.
Oh.
Should have told him before that, but.
Yeah.
Way to delegate.
Greetings, everyone, on the chilly evening. Claire, don't mind cleaning that up. Okay, great. So we heard that there were some concerns about our practices and policies around the use of personal devices for, in particular, email. And I was hoping to try to provide a little background on why we do what we do, and then answer some questions if you have any, and then think about where we go next. So that's kind of the purpose of what I'm going to be showing today. So just a little bit of nomenclature. Personal device is phone or tablet that you own. The county doesn't own it. We'll be talking about some policies and practices we have about the use of those devices for county business. I may need to rely on some of my colleagues and know more about the law than I do. I'll do my best to answer any sort of technical questions that come up. That's not my real area of expertise, so if they get too intense, I'll probably have to write them down and come back with some answers from our IT director. Claire, could you advance the deck, please? So with a lot of things related to county policies and practices having to do with risk, we're looking to balance benefits and concerns, or rewards and risk. And I think this is one of those cases. with respect to the use of personal devices. Claire, the next slide. Just a little bit of a story. Sorry, the print is so small here. I hope I can read it. A couple of years ago, we had a county employee who, this was back when we allowed the use of email on personal devices. Her own cell phone was compromised. Hacker managed to get into it and accessed her Outlook account, the county Outlook account. Outlook is a program that's part of what we call the Microsoft 365 suite of programs. So that's Outlook. It's also Microsoft Word. It's Excel. It's the PowerPoint we use here. Microsoft in the business world, it's got a monopoly on those kind of productivity applications, and we're okay with that. They're relatively secure. But this hacker managed to compromise the employee's phone, got into Outlook, and was able to get enough information to put together a bank draft from the county. And for, I forget, it was like $193,000 or something.
It's a lot.
Yeah, a lot of dough. Wasn't a million, but if it weren't for personal relationships we have with our bank, that probably would have gone through. But someone noted that there was something just a little bit odd about the bank draft and contacted us. And we're like, yeah, that sounds like we've been hacked. So if you think about that risk reward, balance, all of a sudden we felt like we were really tilting down toward the risk side. And so we asked ourselves what we could do that. So we almost immediately disallowed the use of personal devices for county business. So I used to get my county email on my personal phone. Scott Good said, no more, we're not doing that anymore. And so even though it was a pain, I now carry two phones around with me. One's county phone, only county business, the other's my personal phone. I try to keep them completely segregated. We'll come back to that idea in a second. So if you go, let's go one more slide. Okay, yeah. So why did we disallow this? Well, we learned that we just can't keep a personal device as secure as we can a county device, because it's got, in this case, Don Wortham's stuff and the county's stuff. And it creates sort of an expanded risk platform for us, because we can't control what Don does with his stuff, and it can open up a window into the county stuff. That's what happened with this employee back in 2024. So let's not do that anymore. Our IT director estimates that the risk's about 2 or 3 times what it is with a county device. There's that kind of interesting phrase, an attack surface. So there's more attack surface in there for hackers for that, because there's my stuff and the county stuff. There's also, and Joe may want to address this, personal devices just create some sort of legal complexities for us. Some are around how we maintain data security, what can be private, what needs to be private, what be public. So things like health information, the county has a lot invested in keeping that really secure. So no one's health information is compromised. Same with information that has to do with the judicial and criminal justice system. So we really want to protect everything, but we certainly want to protect that. The other part is that sometimes we get sued. And when we get sued, if it was Don Wortham with his personal device and the county gets sued because of something that Don may have done, then Joe's going to take my cell phone. He's going to impound it, and it's going to be evidence. I'm not going to have access to it anymore. So just another reason why we like to keep these things separate. Last bullet point on this is that we are all the time getting legitimate requests for public information requests. Claire and others handle those. When folks have personal devices doing county business, that really complicates the situation for us. So going back to this picture of the guy on the round, the ball or whatever, trying to manage risk and reward. Our our preference is to not allow personal devices for county business, including email. So you might ask, okay, I don't really want to, I don't want more complexity in my life. This is a tough enough job that you all have. What can the county do to kind of make it easier for you? So let's go to the next slide. Unless there's any questions about what I've said so far. So this is the current practice part. So I just mentioned that we don't allow right now county business on personal devices. So what could we do about it? Well, we could, for the supervisors that want a county phone, we can provide that. If you want to carry around a second phone, that is really not a big problem for us. We can make those as secure as we can your computer, your county computer. So that's an option to consider. Doesn't mean you have to go that route. The cost to the county is relatively modest. Back to risk reward. I think it's $45 a month to do that for you. So we could do that. We can equip you with a county phone that'll make getting an email easier for you, we think, instead of having to go to your county computer. If you want it instead of a phone, we can get you an iPad or a Android tablet. So that's one option. The other option is you could tell us that we have to let you use private devices. That's always an option because you're the boss. But there are those risks that I mentioned before. So, our position, sort of the position of the platform group, finance, HR, and IT, and maybe corporation counsel too, is if you want a little more convenient access, let us get you a phone. We prefer not to have you tell us that you want to use your personal devices for county business. Anything to add?
To add to the potential open records compliance, when everything is on a county device, we're able to basically make sure that you are in compliance ourselves. So it doesn't take any additional requirement on your end to go find things in your emails that might be qualified for open records or compliance, et cetera. We are able to go and find those things and make sure that we are providing all the information necessary. If someone makes an open records request, for example, and we know that you use your personal device, we simply notify you, hey, we have this request. You are now obligated to go through all of your equipment and all of your emails that you may have some kind of response, and you are required to go and find it, and you are required to provide it to us. And then we have to provide it to the person who requested it. If you're doing things on your own devices and you don't provide anything to us and someone believes that you have something that didn't get turned over, well, then they're probably going to start a lawsuit. And like Don pointed out, I'm going to have to, as your attorney, say, give me your phone, because I have to comply with the discovery demand. And in order for me to comply with that discovery demand, I need to take your device and make sure that we are turning everything over. Otherwise, you yourself may be liable and you're opening the county up to risk as well. So that's the IT director and general government director have their own objectives. My objective is to make sure that you're aware of the risks and to advise against taking unnecessary risk. Using the devices and the operations that the IT director has available to you will minimize the amount of liability that you are taking on yourself. So I would recommend that you follow the advice of the IT director, but again, you all are the boss and you get to decide more or less how things run. So that's all I have.
The other option on that slide was B, that if you truly wanted to use your own personal device to get county email, the county could install county security software on your phone, but then the county has a window into your phone to monitor what that does to ensure that that cybersecurity filter that's coming through and doing that is actually you. And that where the problem comes when you use a personal device to get county emails is the security software and platforms that are out there. The devices we have in there that are locked down, that stuff gets caught in that filter. It can't distinguish whether it's a private phone that's up there that's not secured down without that security software. So it opens up that window for a bad actor to access county, to get into the county system.
So doesn't the county, if all our emails come to the county, aren't they secured then and then sent to us?
So the,
Isn't that how that works or not?
in a way, I mean, more or less,
So if you sent one to me.
Yep.
It's already been secured and you know it's good. Now you send it to my iPad. It's already went through security once, hasn't it? Does it have to be secured again?
But if it creates a backdoor in the Outlook program that you're opening up that email in, to go back through the system to get back into the county system.
But that would be their security,
It
but
flows both ways.
don't we have that security already?
Because you're opening up Outlook, open that email that was sent in Outlook.
The same, so if it's your device or whatever, it's the same difference. If you send it to me and I open it up,
so here, I'll try to,
it's the same difference.
again, I'm not a,
What's the difference?
I'll try. I'm not an expert at it, but
I'm just wondering what's the
So-
difference if it's already went through.
so on your own, yeah, on your own, you know, let's say you're talking about a phone, right?
Phone, either one.
Yeah, so let's say you've got an older version of a browser. And even though we've got our security software on there, you end up going to a site. I'll just talk about me, not you. So I go to FanDuel or I go to a site that isn't even FanDuel to gamble. Just me, not anybody else in this room. And that site, unbeknownst to me, Don Wortham, is a dangerous site. There's lots of bad actors on it. It's giving me something I want. I want to gamble, but it's allowing access to the device overall. So it can basically build, the way I think about it, it's like a little beachhead on Don Wortham's personal phone,
Yeah.
which repeated attempts to try to attack Outlook, at some point Outlook may not be able to fend them off because we've really introduced a bad actor onto our phone already. I have. So that's the concern. Your Outlook on your phone is reasonably secure, but it's not perfectly secure.
So is the other one perfectly?
It's, well,
If you're sending one out, is it secure? Even on that
Nothing's
device?
perfect.
So say
Nothing's
this is the
perfect.
Polk County device, I answer it. How do we know how secure that is?
well, we don't know that it's perfectly secure.
Okay, so then what's the difference?
Well, so I asked our IT director to give me an estimate of how much more risk we take on by using personal devices for county business. And he said, because of that expanded risk issue that I just mentioned, it's 2 to 3 times as much risk for us. Now, if our risk is much less than 1%, then maybe 3 times that isn't so bad. But we've also just had this thing that nearly cost us a bunch of dough and some embarrassment. And so we're trying to, on that risk balancing act, do what makes the most sense for the county overall, while accommodating as much as we can, you guys, because we know all this stuff's a pain. It's all a pain. And the solution that we come up with as being kind of the middle way to stay balanced is to just get you a phone, get you a county phone.
And how does that work for our privacy? That everything has to go through the county first?
Well, that's a really good point. I think what Bo is trying to make.
You decide what's
You keep yours-
trash, whatever, and what if it isn't? And then I don't get the email from the county. Now what?
Well, that won't
You
happen.
want to be a Democrat, it's all Democrat. You want to be a Republican, it's all Republican. It's all independent.
I am
It's trash.
nonpartisan and centrist.
That's why I named all three.
I'm trying to stay on that, keep it balanced. So we won't try to do anything to your phone if we don't have our software on it. You can do whatever you want with it, right?
No, but I'm saying even on the county one, what am I gonna get from the county? If I have a county device, all I do is read the email and then I work on my own stuff to look it up and stuff. I won't even use the county one to look things up.
I think
Because they shouldn't have to know what I'm,
that sounds like a good situation to me.
well, I don't know. Why should they know what I'm looking at and doing?
Right, exactly. And
Why is the county?
Don't have any interest in that.
it'd be just for you to view your emails coming in.
Okay,
And then you can
that's
use
what
your
I'm
own phone
saying.
to
Otherwise,
research.
it's none of their business what I'm doing.
Well, and we do, we do have ways of detecting behavior. with our products, so we prefer not to have our employees doing certain things with their phones.
And that's kind of the idea. If you have a county phone or tablet, you can't, the programs that IT has on that device will not allow you to access websites or download apps or access execution files that would otherwise compromise the device. So you are restricted in your access to things that subject your device to risk, subject your device to the little bulkhead that they put there and just wait and continue to attack without you knowing, and suddenly gain access to your email and suddenly send out a spam to every single employee within the county saying, hey, this is Supervisor Kim O'Connell. I need you to verify this, that, and the other thing. And well, it's coming from Kim's email and I'm looking, that is in
That
fact
would
his
still
email.
happen
And
if I only get emails from the county on this device. And I can't use it to look things up. So now I have to go to my private one and look it up. Now you ask for records. Well, yes, I did look up that statute. I did look this up. You still get to take my computer.
you would still be able to do any work-related work on your work device. If you decide to act in that way, yes, it's still not optimizing what I'm concerned about. It's optimizing what the IT
But
director.
they're deciding what I can look up and where I can look it up and where I can do things, aren't they?
On their device.
Yes.
On their device, they're gonna tell me what I can do and not do.
But it's so same, so I'm at,
Yeah.
I
That's what I'm
want to look and see what T-bills are on my computer upstairs or on my phone. That's a county. I can do all that.
sure.
If I try to go to Don's favorite gambling site on my computer or from my phone, Scott Good's gonna flash this thing up, Fortiscard, God, banked. No, we will absolutely block sites with our devices, but they're not sites that are, again, I use my county phone for doing county stuff up all the time, statutes,
Right,
everything.
and with a public records request, it's a request for a record. So they can do a public record request and say, what have you been searching on the internet? Because that record doesn't exist. You can't create that record and then have to give it out. The record has to exist to give the record out. So that's why they ask for email communications, because that exists. So they can't ask you to say, what were you researching on Friday afternoon? And there's no record there. So unless you printed out everything you researched and emailed it to someone, then that's a record they could pull.
We did have to get text off of our private phones though.
Yep. It's a record.
We were using it for county business. That
That
would make
exists.
Caught in the,
Yeah.
I got caught in
Yeah.
that. Done it.
Yes, sir.
Corporate counsel. So being we're the boss, okay, for starters. If there's somebody here that wants to take the risk, can't we have a document that they're gonna sign off that they're responsible for anything that might happen because of that risk? And then they can have whatever they want.
We certainly could,
But, that could be $192,000 check that got through the bank. As long as we understand the risk. Well, then if there's somebody that wants it, you draw up a document that says you're responsible for anything that happens and give it to them.
you could make a policy for yourself or a rule in your own rules that you have. You could do that. You wouldn't be protecting anything because the county would still be out the $192,000. Essentially, you'd just have a person acknowledge that they're potentially risking the county. So it's not going to protect us. It's not going to protect the county. It's not going to protect the county's money. It's not going to protect the county's resources. We would still be open to potential attacks, but you'd be able to say, well, you knew what you were doing, so you're responsible. They would be responsible anyway. I mean, it's.
Just a thought. I mean, somebody's willing to take the risk. No, the risk I'm talking about is all the risk. If something happens where it takes 150 hours of IT time and
stuff to figure it out. I mean, that's what we're talking about here is when we have these things happen, it takes a lot of time. Time is money. Somebody wants to take the risk. You know,
Any
the
more?
county would like it too good, but anyway, that's all I got to say.
Are you saying a
More
waiver to
questions?
take on personal liability for any loss that occurs as a result?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I don't know that we could or couldn't do that. I'd have to look into that.
I mean, you can take the risk, take the gamble. I'm done.
Yeah,
I think the difficult thing for those of us that are involved in a business, that would mean we'd have to have 6 devices. Because a lot of times I have to have a phone for personal use, I have to phone for the business, I have to have a laptop for the business, laptop for my personal use. Now you're gonna give me 2 more. And I can guarantee you that my response time to a county email or a county action is much greater if I'm looking at it in a device that I'm in every single day. I don't disagree that's still the most safest way to go at all. Because we spend days and days training on avoiding spam and avoiding all the hackers and doing all that and what things to look for. And they test us monthly with fake emails and things to see if they can trip you up. And if you get tripped up, then you got to go through another half-day training and you get good at looking for it. But it does mean that somebody that's going to be actively involved in a business is likely going to have 6 devices. Is what it is.
any more hypotheticals?
What's the cost difference between a computer for supervisor and a phone for supervisor? Is it a wash?
Oh, no, well,
Laptops, those little ones are cheap.
Yeah.
I'd want to find out what we're currently paying for laptops, but, you know, the acquisition cost for a phone's not very high and the monthly's $40, $45. Those are also, if that is is it an Android tablet or something?
That's his personal.
Okay, yeah, so we could, you
Tablet.
know, we can get those either in the Apple variety or the Android variety. They're not particularly tough to acquire or expensive to acquire. And then unless we set you up with a modem, you'd be using wireless, which there's no monthly cost on that. You have to have wireless where you live. You have it here, of course.
Anything else?
It's just nice when you travel to have it on your, have a phone versus carrying, because we've got the little laptops. I'm not carrying my personal iPad, my little laptop, by the time I need a separate piece of
And
luggage
and-
to bring my device.
And extra luggage,
So,
carry all your stuff.
but on the other hand, when you have all that, because I have the county software on my phone, the security stuff, because I requested that, because I travel a lot. But I'm probably gonna have them take all that off because it puts a lot of stuff on your phone. There's a lot of different things that you have to go through. And like right just a minute ago, I had a county email that came through on my Apple Watch because my Apple Watch is connected to my Apple phone. So if I get it there, I get it here. But it's got all the security software on. So that makes it. So when you travel, if you want responses from us, we have to have something to be able to give you responses.
I travel to get away from all of that.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else?
Well, just if you've got more information you'd like us to, you know, look into, we'd be happy to. And
If you have a personal problem that might be applicable, they can come and see you.
I might take you down to Scott, but
All
yeah,
right.
you can always come see me.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right, thanks, Don. How about the sale of this property? Em, are you addressing that or?
No,
Government.
Sarah Curry will be doing this.
Evening, everyone. The county surveyor attended the general government committee meeting at week where they discussed the potential sale of, I'm going to throw it on the screen for us, of a piece of property just north of here. And so what happened at that meeting is they passed it along to the county board without recommendation. So you guys can discuss in the committee of the whole and then make your decision on on guidance for staff. Okay, here we are. So Troy and Courtney Gross, they live at 500 State Highway 46 North, right here. They approached the county and inquired about purchasing a portion of the county property line just adjacent to their east line. So right would be this square here. Okay, it's approximately 0.8 acres. It has a small flat area that's close to their property, and then it is a large slope, so it's not utilized by the county at this time for anything other than it's just there. The Gross house appears to be about 25 feet from that rear east lot line. And basically, the county needs to, or the board needs to discuss the three options. It's either we can sell that piece of property, sell to the Gross family. There are other adjoining lot owners, though. You can see there's a adjoiner here and here. So we could also lot that property off and just put it on the
Market.
Market.
yeah, but it's
Auction, Wisconsin surplus auction.
thanks, as I forget my words. Or we're just not interested in selling. So, and staff doesn't have, staff is neutral on it. It's really up for discussion for what the board is interested in. Either way, the potential buyer would have to hire the private surveyor to complete the survey of the parcel being sold and work with the Village of Balsam Lake with any requirements of their subdivision and zoning ordinances. And then, yeah, I think that's really it, just kind of background information for your discussion here, and I can.
What's the significance of the whole green area?
That's our property county. Center.
Oh, that's all county
That's all
property.
county property.
Okay, that's all county property, okay.
Was it appraised at any, or not?
So that's what you would be deciding today, is if we decide to move forward with it, it basically authorizes staff to do their diligence and get the appraisal.
So if you decide that you do want to even entertain the idea,
Yeah.
then what your action would be is decide how you want to sell it, whether you want to engage with just the one purchaser, whether you want to engage with
Three.
that purchaser and any of the other landowners, or put it out for a complete open bid. So if you decide to sell, you have to decide that you have to tell us that you want it to get appraised. Tell staff that you want an appraisal, and then how to proceed, how staff should proceed in the sale. There's wide discretion for county sale of property. When we have tax deed property that we've taken, we're restricted and we have to go through the bid process. We've done that frequently in the past. But if we just simply want to sell property that we own outright with no restriction, it's not gifted to us with any covenants. There's nothing that I'm aware of on this particular property. So the board has wide discretion in how you want to do it. So that's what I'm asking you to discuss.
Just how to proceed or not sell at all. Not interested.
So does this fall under that unutilized land that we have, that you have to go through every year? There's how many land pieces the administrator goes through to look at, or every other year, don't we have it?
Listen,
So this would be a county-owned, non-used parcel.
it's not listed as non-use, it's just listed as the government center property.
Okay.
It's part of this complex, this whole property here. So it'd be lotted off on that 0.8 of an acre. If you decide to sell it,
But the question is, what about the other people?
and that's the question, would it be fair just to offer it to all three? Make sure you contact all three that were putting it up for sale. And if they have interest, if someone else wants to buy it, that's fine.
That's why it came out of general government without a recommendation. It came out of general government, the discussion, Russ, you can clarify, but first off, if we do want to sell it, it should be equal opportunity to either of those adjoining property owners. Number two was, it is part of our footprint here And are we really interested in selling something that's currently part of our footprint despite the way it sets?
Can you go back out on there so we can see the whole thing for the footprint part? Okay. So the government center is right there.
Yep.
Okay.
Or you can turn that zone off too, the green. Yeah, so.
Yeah, leave the green on.
Yeah.
Oh, leave the green on, okay.
That's, you can see the, where it sits, the back side of the north side of the property there. The
Yeah.
government center is in the lower left corner.
Yep. Huh, interesting.
Yeah.
There's quite a hill in there too, if you, with this.
Mr. Chairman.
Jake,
Jay,
What?
we got a couple more here.
Well, go ahead. I always thought you guys.
Because of because of the slope there, you've got a flat spot. There probably is only one person, one owner who could use it. Probably isn't any use to the county at any point. I just can't imagine what, the county could do that with that. So I wouldn't be opposed to it, but then next question is what if the next one over decides, well, we just want, another chunk? Are we just gonna sell off other pieces just because they're not usable? I don't know.
it kind of,
And that's what general government talked about, and we never come to a decision.
So I just have kind of a question or a comment. So if someone wants to buy it, the buyer, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't it customary that they pay for the appraisal? That they pay the associated costs of selling it? Tony's going, yeah. Tony's a realtor, so.
I think that's what Lisa would be included.
That would be included in a motion.
Okay.
Because we'd have to do the appraisal, so we have a fair market value when we start with it.
So this, just for another question, it was never dedicated as a park or anything, was it? When the county acquired it or whatever? So it was never a park. So it's kind of like the Woodley Dam stuff. I mean, we got stuff we don't use, but people can use it, add to the tax base if they're gonna put garages on it and stuff.
well, if it's a,
I think it would make sense and find, if any of them need a back lot. Is there sewer and water there? On that road, do we know? Maybe they need a private sewer.
oh, that was agenda driven.
Well, anything from the road in would be their responsibility. Wouldn't be the village's.
I think in general government, my concern was, can we just offer it to 3 people in the county? What if somebody else says, hey, I would have bought that
Yeah,
3/4 of an acre just to have it?
yeah.
And maybe in 10 years, one of them 3 people will pay twice for it. I don't know. I don't know how to answer the question when someone comes up to me and says, how come you sold that piece to them people?
Yeah,
Wasn't it offered to
yeah,
I've
me?
heard that.
yeah.
That would be my concern, is someone challenging us picking who gets to buy it.
And that could be part of your motion to put it on the auction with a minimum bid, once we have an appraisal,
Oh,
Well, that would
and just notify,
answer everybody's question. Or
then notify each
up for
landowner.
sale. If it was put up for sale for everyone, I'm in favor of it.
But if it went up for auction, though, we would have to get it surveyed first then, correct?
Yeah, or you could also put it under auction saying that it would require survey to the person who bought it. I think there's language that we could put in there that would require that.
We have a surveyor.
Or
yeah, we got
We
it.
do, but typically a private surveyor would come in and do, I mean, Ed Flanham went through it. Didn't he talk about that with you guys at the general government committee? Typically it would be whoever wants to buy that would go through the private surveyor. We don't want to take the work away from the private surveyors.
And we could list it as, in addition to the survey, is the cost of the assessment and the survey. Add that on there, as they gotta pay for that also,
In addition to their bid.
in addition to their bid.
Steve, do you want to ask a question?
How do you describe the parcel and if it has been surveyed?
Well, what Administrator Norby's saying is we would have it surveyed, we would have it appraised, and then when we if you put it out for bid, when you set the reserve or the min, you would set that market plus whatever the
There's two costs for
Yeah.
surveying.
So then if someone doesn't meet the minimum bid, we just paid for a surveyor.
Yep.
Yeah.
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 Risk.
Yeah. I think you can also put it up for auction with the pictures and the, Ed could do a meets and bounds description. And then it would have to be surveyed after sale. I think you could also do that.
I think the person that made the request is very interested and would bid enough to get it. And then everyone would have a chance, so no one could say we handpicked who got it.
I don't know that it's necessarily our business, but does anybody know exactly why they want it? Or did they want to square up a line?
None of our business.
They want to build,
Okay.
they want to build a garage or a shed of some sort of detached.
They're right back, they're backed up.
I have a question.
Our property line.
Yeah, I do. I just have a comment. We need to divide that into three or maybe more, depending upon where, I don't know where the borders are on the people on the upper part of the picture there, but, yeah, you can see their lot line there.
1, 2, 3. And
Yeah, so, those people are gonna be higher bidders.
They got access,
Property.
got access.
And they probably walk out their back door and walk on this property. It's public property. They can do that. They may even hunt on it for all we
But
know.
we're only talking about the one little square here behind the one place.
Where's this little square? Can you point that out?
He said it was 28 acres.
0.8.
0.8.
0.8.
They want to divide it up.
Okay, but is it,
Off yet.
is it connected to a road? Is it on?
No.
It's none.
So it's landlocked except for the people that are,
And the county footprint.
And again, the county was approached and asked if they could potentially sell. It was my understanding when the county surveyor was out there marking for a timber sale that was going on because of some diseased trees. It kind of came to light that perhaps there is some usage of that flat area now. And then they had approached the county to purchase that property. So it's not any permanent at this time, but it just came to light. And then, so then they approached to buy that 0.8 acres. But I also, as you're talking about Supervisor Arcan, there's several other owners that might be interested. And so if it goes to auction, and again, staff is just whatever you want to do, or you don't have to sell it at all. I mean,
Are you sure that line that looks like a way bigger piece than 0.8? Because each of those houses probably has at least an acre.
It's part of it.
If you look at this page here, it's where that red line is.
It's just this little part where the yellow dotted yellow line is.
Yeah.
Red line.
But that's not on the.
so but Claire, you can actually, I think one of those things, those emails from that's the
200 by 107. An acre, 204 by 204.
This lot, probably, this is an acre and this is 0.8.
43,560.
It's squared off. It's about 35,000.
Wondering about it now.
0.8 acres.
What about these people?
What it is.
Fine, then
Yeah, are they gonna want?
are they gonna want it? It's kind of,
okay, any more discussion about it?
Yeah, if you sold to them, why don't you sell to me?
Okay. Seeing nothing, we go back into, session, regular session
Need a motion on that?
need a motion.
To go back in there.
Yeah,
should we come out of motion
Committee of the whole.
and go back in a regular session?
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we're back in the regular session, number 9. On the resolutions, the ratifying the administrator's goal.
Wait,
Number 8.
Wait a minute.
No,
Okay.
let's do that.
Sale,
Now, proposed resolutions and ordinances.
sale, Tony parcel.
Yeah, sale, the first one is the sale of the parcel.
So how much do we want in the motion? Because I would make a motion to sell it with the surveyor by owner, appraisal by owner. Other owners right there would also be known, and it would go to a public auction. What else do we have to add to that? That would be on a public auction for, yeah.
So do we amend the resolution then to add those items in? I mean, because this is to approve the
There's
resolution.
no resolution.
There's no resolution.
Well, there is no resolution.
Oh, so
No.
you're asking that it get appraised before you make a decision whether or not you want to sell it? Are you saying you want to get an appraisal and you know that you want to sell it? So your
I'm
motion
saying,
is to
yes.
get an appraisal and put it out for auction?
And put it up for auction, yeah.
Price plus requirement that they get a survey and,
Okay, I got,
I mean, I don't want to make.
a survey,
for you. I'm
an
just trying to
appraisal,
understand what you're-
but actually notify other owners. Because then if you survey it, if they want to split it more or whatever, but at least do that.
Oh,
But then make sure that it does go to the public auction part. So then it's up for whoever wants to buy it.
So can I ask a question?
go ahead.
Okay, I have a question. I'm asking because I don't know the answer to it. So is it appropriate that we would put it out for public auction and then only notify certain parties that it was going up for public auction? Does that kind of defeat the public notice
Yes,
purpose?
I would think so. I don't know.
If it's public, everybody, it would be
Public.
publicized.
You
Yeah,
have to publish it.
I mean, we wouldn't like, in addition to putting it on the public auction and having that publicized or published in the paper or whatever, I guess we wouldn't, in my opinion, want to approach any other individuals because we're meeting the public notice requirements already. And then you're playing favorites, so.
Just my thoughts, I think just on awareness and transparency, notifying the adjacent owners
Mhm.
is appropriate to notify. Anyone in the public that follows land or anything has that opportunity with the public announcement on it. But otherwise, they may not be following the county website or anything and not getting noticed at all. So just my thoughts.
Tim, how do you want to word your
Can I?
motion? Go ahead.
Mr. Chair, how about we make another motion or just one separate motion that we do an appraisal on this and the county pay for the appraisal? Then we have a number a minimum number we want to start with, something that everybody kind of knows what we're gonna be looking for. Because if you have the buyer do the appraisal, does that kind of defeat the whole purpose of us putting a minimum bid in or anything?
Legally, though, the appraiser is not supposed to be slanting things. They have rules that they have to follow, no matter who they work for. So they're supposed to be objective, but I know I've had appraisers say to me, well, what do you need to have it appraise at?
How
So,
do we know where to put the minimum bid?
yeah, Tony's smiling over there
We
because he.
we should probably have a point of order. We don't even have a motion on the floor.
That's
With
what
a second, and we're deep in the discussion. Let's get a motion on the
I-
floor.
tried to get the verbiage for a motion.
Okay,
I started one.
Yep,
Well, I believe you started one with,
that was it.
the motion was, 1, to sell the property, 2, to get it appraised with the condition that the owner will pay for it once sold. A survey that the owner will pay for once sold. Put it on public auction for the appraised value and to notify the adjacent owners.
Okay, yep.
I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion?
Point of clarification on. Put it on the public auction for the market cost plus the cost of survey and appraisal, correct?
Okay, yes,
Better, yeah.
yeah.
Doug,
Then it's spelled out a little better, yep.
You wouldn't see it.
say what?
Don had his hand up behind you, you wouldn't see it.
Well, just if you're interested in his recent historical. Indicate what we did with that property in Polk Park. There was an abandoned house on a couple acres. And we put it on public purchase, which is part of your resolution, your draft. We paid for the appraisal. And we put an asking price, which we thought was a percentage of the fair market value. So we were looking at the appraisal, but we also had some indications that we might actually be able to get more for it. my memory is correct, we put it on for 80% of what we believe the fair market value was. I could be happy to check into that, and make sure my memory is accurate. And I noticed that you looked over at me as well. That's my recollection, maybe others that were on the general government committee at the time. Not necessary for us to follow what we did before, but some of the things line up with what you're proposing.
And that was as is, wasn't it?
Correct, sir.
Because that's the house. It had dwelling on it.
That's right.
So we went as is, so they had to do well, sewer, everything else.
Last thing, yes, sir, that's right.
Okay.
And one thing I failed to mention is because we had a couple of parties interested in the property, we made sure that we let them know, responded to them when the property went on public purchase. So I guess that'd be like letting the adjacent landowners know that this was going to happen and not just have them rely on public purchase.
Do we have a motion
Yes, and the one I had, and second.
and seconded?
That's pretty close to what we had, because it would be, it's open land, so we don't have to worry about it.
Read the motion back.
So it's pretty well what Mo just said, to sell with the survey and appraisal going on to the new owner. Notify the 3 property owners and go to public auction. And then Joe added the, with the cost of, the market cost plus the cost of the appraisal on the survey.
Okay, everybody understand the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign?
No.
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 Okay, passes. Ratification of the administrator's goal.
Yes, Mr. Chair, in your packet, are the 4 goals, as you recall, I went to executive committee in last board meeting. It was noted to come up with go back to committee and come up with a management goal. It pass out. Goal number 4 is that maintaining that management goal. It kind of breaks down the goal on the sheet I passed out separately tonight. Also with that, number 1 was changed. The goal number 1 was changed on the safety program and policies. Was added there to review all policies at a minimum annually. So that was in addition to number 1 also. Otherwise, goal 2 and 3 stayed the same. And 4 was the addition.
Anybody got any questions on the administrator's goals?
Well, the only thing I have is, I think it's a hard, what's a goal versus an expectation of the job? Because a lot of the things listed here are just things that are part of the job. So that's expected that they're going to be done. So do we see a difference between goals and expectations of the job? I mean, are goals usually set to be something outside of expectations of the job? Or, sure.
Anybody else have any comments? You need some action on this for ratification?
The board adopt those as the goals for the administrator?
Okay, anybody object to adopting the goals of the administrator as presented? Okay, so otherwise we will ratify them. Okay, C,
Would
resolution.
you prefer a motion?
I think a motion would be best. Again, your rules of order simply say that the county board will consider after the executive committee sets the goals. So there's not really clear direction on exactly what to do. I think the best way for you to consider what the goals are is to move for ratification of what the goals as set by the executive are.
Okay, make a motion.
I'll move to ratify the administrator's goals as presented.
Second.
All in favor or any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Number C, resolution 01-26.
Yes, this resolution went through general government and the changes to the financial policies This is due to the federal government changing their micro purchasing thresholds, which was $10,000. They moved it up to $15,000. So we're changing our financial purchasing policy to mirror for the federal government that we follow. Sorry.
Okay. That's a pleasure.
Did come out of general government with recommendation.
I make a motion, we approve resolution 01-26, adopting a comprehensive revision to Polk County financial policies, chapter 5, financial policies, to bring it in line with new federal regulations.
I'll second it.
Motion made and seconded. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All same sign. Resolution 2-26.
Yes, Mr. Chair, this is the resolution to set compensation for the sheriff and the clerk of courts. This will bring them back in line with our other elected officials. They're on ops cycles for that. So Don Worthman, general government, he did the legwork on this one to bring them back in line. Set the rates with that on comparables. I know, Don, if you want to add anything to that.
I could handle both independently. So for the sheriff's office, the key considerations were ensuring that there was some gap between the chief deputy's pay that we anticipate over the next 4 years. Make sure there's a gap between that and the sheriff. Also maintaining essentially the position that we have relative to other local counties, which is we try to stay below St. Croix County and roughly equivalent or above Barron, Pierce. We're always above Burnett, thankfully. But to try to also pin it in that direction. So the salaries as presented for 2027 is $7,000 less than St. Croix County, and enough above the chief deputy's position that we believe there won't be what's called compression between the two roles. On the clerk of courts, the idea was to make these as close as possible to what you ratified recently for the recorder of deeds, for the treasurer, and for the clerk. And the thing that makes that just a little bit difficult is that since this is on a 4-year cycle, we have to kind of guess what inflation might look like for 3 or 4 years out. So the last couple of years of the clerk, ROD, and treasurer's wage will go up by 4%. And so that's the case with the first 2 years of the clerk of courts on the model that you see in front of you. And then after that, the increase is 3%. Going back to the sheriff's increase mirrors on a percentage basis that of St. Croix, 3% a year.
Can these be changed though if something comes up? Does it take like a 2/3 vote then or something to change these?
The statute, maybe Joe want to comment on the statute.
It's not in this book. The statute dictates that you have to set the wages prior to the election. So these will be in place. I am not aware of a method to amend what you said.
Okay.
Allow to defeat the purpose. Okay, anybody want to move on?
Make a motion to approve resolution 02-26 to set compensation for elected officials for their term of office from 2027 to 2030. And this concerns the clerk of circuit court and the county sheriff.
Motion made
Second.
and seconded. Any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed, same sign. We have no appointments on the county board. How about the county administrator? Do you have any appointments?
I have no appointments this month.
Okay, I have really nothing to talk about or found upon that we haven't gone over in our agenda, so. Administrator report.
Yes, Mr. Chair, just a couple things. As a informed all committees, December sales tax was up 12%, which was great. That hit our mark for the 2026 budget we were estimating. A reminder again, this is in the third year of the MOU with the Fair Society, so we'll be opening that up with the fair for discussions and the committee. The new baler at the recycling center was installed last week. It's up and running now. The next set of machinery for the OCC line or the cardboard paper line start next week. That comes in and gets installed. We finished 2025 on our roadways with 8 fatalities, which is down from our average of 11. The 2026 county forest payments to towns went out. It was shared amongst 7 towns. It was $47,080.63 based off the acreage in each town, county forest. The land and water tree sale is on currently online. Some of them are already sold out. So if you want to go online and order trees, please do so. GAM is proud to announce they're in a pilot program with a Kansas State University. They're one of 5 facilities in Wisconsin to get accepted into this program, and it looks at the wellness of the guests and procedures on going through with that, enhancing that. So that I'll be reporting on that throughout the year. That's a year pilot program. I did send out to all of you the information on Langlade County and the MOU they are terminating with DNR as information for you. We meet with DNR next week with that. So I'll be bringing that to Public Works, Public Safety in February, an update on how that negotiation went with the MOU. And besides that, we've had a lot of emails back and forth on, there was a $2 million grant for mental health services to nonprofits that was cut. The next day it was reinstated again. So we're kind of monitoring these grants going back and forth. DHS is still waiting on some funding coming in to start billing on that side. So we're constantly monitoring the grant situation as they come in. So, but that's all I have to report, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Any comments? Anything? Announcements on the supervisor, anything Scott tell us about?
Just have a question.
Go ahead.
Are we meeting in February?
Yeah, as far as I know.
Okay,
Right now,
okay, just checking.
Okay. Anybody else have anything? Okay. Go ahead, Steve.
There's a new program out for bridges under 20 feet. We didn't make it with any of they didn't meet the critical criteria. But we do have we feel is critical down on County Road M, a long culvert that the DNR, I don't know, you probably know more about it than I do. The DNR wants to realign if it fails. So if it's not in the program and it fails, then we're gonna have to do it. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see that road posted coming this spring. Because the last time we had one of these, it failed over a weekend because of agricultural use. So just one of those things to brace yourself for should it happen.
Okay.
Not budgeted.
Whereabouts on the hill?
it's down by Horse Creek.
Okay.
Down by Horse Creek down there. What happened to the program is the state took, for small structures under 20 feet, they took the ARIP program, which had $150 million in it, and removed, I believe, 20 or 30 million of that and put it to small structures. Subsequently, with that decision, they basically X'd the counties out of the program for small structure replacement and said it was more important to go to the towns. So that probably, we'll look at that one as possibly infrastructure and bonding to get that culvert replaced, because the DNR wants to realign the stream and change the skew of the path of the stream on that one.
So it's over 20, it's under 20 feet.
It's under
So it's a culvert.
It's a culvert.
All right, so it's under 20, yeah, so it's a culvert, not a bridge. All right.
Anybody else have anything? One more motion.
Motion to adjourn.
That's a county floor.
I don't.
It's gotta be.
Okay,
I guess.
So it's right by.
Ready to get started?
Just